Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. The shuttlepod comes in like a wrecking ball, starts the show with a bang, and even though it's a setup, Starfleet shows us how they did cancel culture back in the day. Daniels returns to show Archer all of the cheat codes, and he does the time warp again. It's just a jump to the left. Also, Dick Pics.
Look, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen to Archer. You're going to have to listen to the feed, Doc, just like everyone else. Okay? Like everyone else. So you can go now.
Captain.
Yeah. What?
The light's on.
Thank you. Good day, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Starfleet Underground. We're here on board the ship where the podcast is being brought to you by Patreon listeners such as you and Section 31. We're all here today. Obviously, I'm here, or else you wouldn't hear my voice. It'd be somebody else speaking a part of the
You're
crew.
not non-corporeal,
So
sir?
I think I am here, unless I am a hologram.
Actually, you're not just a ghostly image speaking with an extra reverb?
Wait, I don't think I'm, hold on, let me see if I'm not a hologram because it didn't go through
The profoundness of your statement is mind-boggling.
I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Something's wrong because the Tribbles are just bouncing right through them.
Wait, did you guys turn me into a golem? What the hell? Okay. As you hear the voices, we have our full crew today. And if you wanted to know if we have a guest, you would have to been a Patreon member. And if you don't, you're going to have to wait until I finish your introductions and no fast forwarding that slider. So whatever you do, I told you not to fast forward the slider. We knew that was going to happen. We have our science officer here today.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer, and I'm the one trying to keep the Tribbles back so they don't keep jumping through our captain like that. I'm putting the Tribbles on a leash. We're going to walk down the hallways.
Oh, that's a lot of leashes.
Yeah, that's a lot of leashes.
Oh, something just bounced. I thought I had to manscape again. Okay, we have our computer guy.
Ew. Hi, this is Patrick. I'm the computer guy. I'm also number 1, and I'm on the Foreign Species Liaison. And ew, from the captain and his Tribbles.
Ew.
Ew. Ew. Ew.
And one person I can never really ever talk bad about, no matter how hard I try, because he's just that lovable, is our engineer.
Hi, I'm lovable. I'm the engineer.
Rocky, pull the captain's head out of your ass first before you start talking.
I didn't even notice it was there. My goodness. Sorry, sir. Hi, everybody. I'm Rocky. I'm the engineer of the show and the ship, and happy to be here for another lovely podcast.
He's got manly, grippy cheeks.
Ooh.
Ew.
Damn.
Ew.
So I would love to find out if we have any corrections.
Let me check subspace. Wow, subspace is being actually slow today.
Hey.
No, we are stellarly, fantastically, 100% flawless.
However, we do have one correction. That is, you need to correct your attitude, sir.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
What? That's the correction.
Listen, bitch.
Okay, now we're going on news article. Lieutenant Commander Ferris, do you have news for us?
Yes, Captain. By the way, for everyone who's listening, if you haven't figured it out already, this is not a kid-friendly podcast. So if you have
kids are in here?
Any kids in the room, please escort them out, because otherwise we will traumatize them.
Well, not on purpose. We mean well, but
we'll traumatize some adults.
It's just not
too.
for kids.
Yeah, the kids that went home to their parents going, what happened was...
So this week's news, Michelle Yeoh landed a major role on The Witcher. Woo!
Outstanding.
The prequel, Blood Origin. Yes. And she is going to play the character Cyan. And the character is the last of the group of elves who are known for their nomadic lifestyles. The character is on a quest of sorts to change the fate of the continent.
This is the origin story of how the Witchers came to be.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm so glad she's doing this.
It's going to be good. I really liked the first season of that.
And they just released a season 2 trailer for The Witcher. If you haven't seen it, it's online.
Yes.
We're going to have to check that out.
I'm totally behind on this. I'm definitely going to have to look this up and see what's going on.
Oh, Witcher's great.
I mean, Henry Cavill, half nakedness.
Oh, he's in this?
Damn.
Yeah,
No, that's Superman, right?
He's the Witcher.
He's a Superman, though, right? That's a Superman. So, okay, sign me up. I'm ready to see this.
Awesome.
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
What makes it so cool about him is that he's a fan of the game and the book series. So he really goes in on the acting. You could always tell someone who's a fan of a genre when they get tapped to do a movie role because they really nail it. And he does a really good job as the Witcher. And like Patrick says, he walks around half naked with white hair and a ponytail. So
Have you guys played The Witcher?
yes.
Awesome.
No, but I've read the first book.
Oh, cool. I've played the first game. I played halfway through the second game, and that's where I'm at right now.
What's it available on? Is it PC
I
or
play-
PC? Or?
PC and
I
Xbox.
play it on Steam.
Yeah. So it's there, but it's good. And it is good. And they do really a good job. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Pat, you got news for us?
Yes, there's some really fun, yummy stuff. Star Trek 4, the Voyage Home, returns to theaters. Woohoo! In August for 2 nights. August 19th and Sunday, August 22nd. It's the 35th anniversary event. We'll also include a featurette called 3 Picture Saga, described as informative and entertaining, featuring the cast and crew exploring the backstory of the story arc seen between Star Trek 2, 3, and 4.
That is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, getting to see Trek on the big screen, hello,
And that was a good one. That was a lot of fun. That should just be a good time for get some popcorn and enjoy the evening.
Yeah.
Or afternoon, because you have the 3 p.m. showing as well.
And there's a double dumbass on you.
Exactly. I was just going to say double dumbass, bitch.
That is going to be awesome. Okay, Rocky, what do you got?
Okay, so Star Trek has got all kinds of things happening. Comicon, it's at home again, so you can watch this streaming from home because all the exciting things at Comicon is going to be online.
Yay.
So San Diego Comic-Con virtual again, and Paramount Plus is going to be there highlighting their animated series, which includes 2 Star Trek shows. They're going to have panels back-to-back Friday, July 23rd. It's part of a larger peak animation programming block, and panels will include exclusive conversations with cast and producers of both shows. So the Prodigy panel with Kate Mulgrew and the rest of the voice cast. Lower Decks panel will have Tawny Newsome, Jack Quaid, Eugene Colorero, and creator Mike McMahon. And they're just going to sit there and chat about season 2 of Lower Decks. Yay. This is really exciting, and Comic-Con's going to have a lot of fun with this.
I am looking forward to that. That's going to be friggin' amazing.
That's awesome. I wish they would make these conventions online anyway. They really should. Like, I am sorry, but STLV should put their panels online for everyone to see. So that's my rant.
I agree. It's nothing like being able to sit in a bathrobe and Tribble slippers to be able to get the full effect of watching Trek. So...
It's just like sitting at home watching Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my news for those of you that love grunge.
Grunge?
Grudge.
The music from
Grudge.
Seattle? Like Nirvana?
The
Soundgarden?
The cat.
Grunge.
Grunge.
Bum, bum,
Grunge.
bum,
The cat. Well, apparently she's been having some downtime between the filming of Discovery, and she decided to put out a book. So it's a book fit for a queen. So if you want to be able to read about her, you can find her book on Amazon as well as others. And the book name is Star Trek Discovery, The Book of Grudge, the cat from Star Trek Discovery. It's being put out by Penguin Books.
Well, it's funny because, they say you can't hold a grudge. Well, you literally can.
It's not easy, though. She's a big kitty.
If she lets you.
If she lets you.
So
Right?
she's definitely a queen, and everybody knows that she's a queen. And she's got a really different take on the universe. So you really should read it. It's 96 pages, so it's a quick read. And it's in a scrapbook style with all kinds of observations and thoughts and personal facts. So it's really cool. And it's not going to be a lot. It's only going to be, what is their Earth currency back then? Dollars. That's right.
Dollars.
It's going to be $14.95. And the last thing that just came across my feed real fast is that for those of you that like to play a medical officer or cosplay as a medical person, there's a collectible.
You mean like dress up as a nurse in bed? What?
Like play doctor?
Play doctor?
Something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Patrick likes that part. There's a next generation medical set, limited edition prop replica that has every little medical device that they ever use in medical
Oh, I saw that.
handheld.
They got the next generation hypo spray.
Yep.
Oh, that's
That looked
cool.
really cool.
As
And
well
the anal
as
probe. I mean,
And
what?
you can stick it there, but you probably don't want to spray it there.
No, and they got little samples. They got little tube samples, like you took samples. They got the original series, little salt and pepper shaker things. They got everything. If you want that, it's pre-order right now. So if you do a pre-order, it's $374.99, which is their way of saying $375. Well, if you wait and don't do the pre-order, it's going to be $400. It's going to be shipping spring of 2022. And you can get that at a place called Factory Entertainment. So those are our news articles for today.
Well, actually, you know what? I do have one more since no one actually got it. Yesterday, Paramount announced that they are releasing a new Star Trek The Original 4-movie collection in 4K Ultra D.
Oh,
That's
wow.
incredibly cool. And they're doing a 4K restoration of the motion picture as well. Getting the whole treatment. It's getting it in Dolby Vision, HDR with the Atmos soundtrack. I mean, if you want to light your theater up with some really cool visuals, Star Trek the Motion Picture, if you can stay awake for the entire thing, has a lot of them.
Hey.
That's going to be cool.
I always love they make fun of this, but movies back then had a different pace. And there's something about seeing a movie with the pace that makes you sit there and think about things while you're watching it. And the challenge is everyone else falls asleep these days, but they're just brainwashed to normal TV that cuts every half a second.
They're millennials. I mean, what do you know?
Millennials got to chill out for a little bit and watch this movie because it was actually kind of cool.
They're used to fast pace.
Hey, I'm a millennial.
And you never went to see the movie with me, so there.
And scene.
I am technically a millennial.
Exactly. Us Gen Xers over here were like, and goodbye.
Ooh, thanks for poking me, Dot. Sorry.
Are all of you guys Gen X?
Yes.
Are all three of you Gen X?
No.
Triple X?
No,
Triple
I'm a
X?
boomer. I'm a boomer.
You're a boomer?
I'm one of the last phases of the boomers, so I'm a boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Dang, I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, wait, it's a fitness report. Here, disrespect, highlight.
Wait a minute. There's an airlock by Heather's quarters we can
Hey,
open up.
don't tell him that.
Hey, well, you blew me out an airlock, so what the hell?
Hey, you're lucky you get blown, period. Okay, we're going to be going on to our next section here, which is Lieutenant Ferris, you're up.
Hi, Captain. This week's episode is Star Trek Enterprise Season 1, Episode 26, Shockwave. It first aired May 22nd, 2002. Teaser, my bad. Enterprise is visiting its first matriarchal planet, and the women who colonized here are slowly building a community and a city on this desolate world. However, the smelly gas created from the mines are SBD, silent but deadly.
Tetrazine.
And shit hits the fan when the Enterprise shuttle strikes a match and blows everything up, killing thousands. Bum, bum, bum.
This show started off with a bang.
Yeah.
And not the kind we were thinking of. So,
No.
yeah, it was kind of a sucky way to start the show. I'm like, oh, man.
More of a big bang in reverse.
Yeah, kind of sucks, man.
It took us an entire season to get a planet run by women, and the fucking writers blow it up in the first fucking section.
And the males are getting equal rights within 20 years. What the fuck is up with that?
They're making great strides.
But you know what? I did feel like, I mean, I know we're still in the beginning of this, but I did feel like this was one of the most Trek episodes of the season. Like,
Why?
It just felt like there was a huge problem and they figured it out and, you know, it saved lives. And then there was a cliffhanger. I mean, it felt really
I was
like
going to
Star Trek
say,
to me.
did you watch the whole thing or just the first half? Because this didn't feel very, I mean, this is kind of a bummer episode, honestly, but I'm waiting to see what happens because it's one of these episodes that started off with, you know, horrible. It's like, oh my God. And then they try to solve the problem. You think you're going to solve the problem by the end of the episode. And no, they make the problem 7 times worse by the end. But tune in for the next week.
Hold on. I'm jumping over all the acts we just did on the way to the end.
Yeah. Don't do that.
We jumped ahead.
We'll get into that though.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it, but it's really kind of cool. And of course, Tucker gets all excited. This all women?
Oh my God.
Nothing but women?
Don't be too flirtatious. I'm like, yeah, duh.
He was so freaking misogynistic. I'm like, oh, this is not a good look on you, dude.
He was about ready to send dick pics to at least 3,000 women.
Yes, exactly.
Get your tricorder and your pad and send some, aroused
He would do
photos.
that.
Do you like it from this angle? Oh yeah,
I
this is
could
a good angle.
totally see him doing that.
Here's one with a hat on it.
It's a small hat.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
It does a dance number.
I drew a face on this one with little arms.
Oh my gosh. Like, men, just so you know, women don't want to see that. Unless that's like your boyfriend and you're like boyfriend, girlfriend, and that's like a thing you guys do. Women don't want to see that, just to let you know.
I mean,
No.
it's kind of bad looking in the first place, so why would you take a picture of it and show it to someone else? That's
Well, maybe to you.
I mean, unless you got something wrong with it. If you're trying to send it to a doctor, totally different. Send it to your doc, because the doc will say, oh, you got a problem. Come in, let me take care of it for you.
Pretty. He'll look at
I'll
you.
give you a hand.
I've got a female doctor, by the way. So.
It's like, I see you lean way too much to the left. You probably have Peyronie's disease. So please go see the clinic and we can fix that for you.
We'll just snap it into place.
Never seen anybody get one of those stuck in something like that before. Wow.
I wonder if Phlox ever had to say any of those to any of the crew.
Well, could you imagine a Klingon with Peyronie's disease? What if they went both ways? One to the left, one to the right.
Oh, wow. Give this person a wide berth.
Phlox is looking at Trip and he's like, I could give you something for that.
He probably needs it.
He's like, we can make it bigger now.
We have
We
Viagra.
have surgery for that. Yeah.
Well,
Denobulan Viagra will keep you hard for at least a month.
It's made from the saliva of my little bat in the back.
Trip is like, no, I'd rather have my hands done for when I put my hands in a bowl.
all right. Well, let's get ready to go on to the next section, since this
Okay.
one we pretty much
We were-
exploded that.
We're going to make a big hands joke. Okay.
Yeah.
And
The
don't
size
forget,
of the hands.
don't forget, we're making history every Lightyear.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we are.
He wasn't saying that every show, though, but it did feel like he was saying it every show,
Yeah.
right?
And another thing that he said was, it wouldn't be very polite if we ignited their atmosphere. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Foreshadowing.
He said that. He freaking
foreskin
said
what?
that. Foreskin. Okay.
That's really terrifying, though. I mean, seriously, in science fiction, if you had to land on a planet that had an explosive atmosphere, wow. Oops, sorry, we blew you up.
The atmosphere itself wasn't explosive. It was the tetrazine gas as the result of their...
Well, yeah, but still,
Mining or
just
whatever.
the fact of landing your shuttle in some place blows it up. It's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next scene.
Okay, Act 1, Clusterfuck of a Day. Archer is shitting bricks and having a baby all at the same time. The guilt of having caused the explosion that killed an entire planet is too much for Archer to bear. He orders his crew to investigate to find out what caused the explosion, and then he notifies his superiors at once. Afterwards, Archer falls into a deep state of depression, and Phlox reminds a worried T'Pol that humans need to feel their feelings in order to process them and heal. It's damaging when humans suppress their emotions. Hint, hint. Archer ends the day with a brutal Zoom call from his boss informing him Enterprise's mission has officially been canceled. Oh no. And
Cancel
they all
culture.
need to head back. Cancel culture.
They started it back then in the 2000s? Whoa.
And they all need to head back home.
Star Trek started cancel culture. What's up with that?
Fuck. Archer was not expecting all of this when he woke up this morning. Cancel culture. That's awesome.
I think my favorite line from this section was Phlox. To be Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, not have to worry about your emotions fucking up everything.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Just so you people know out there, suppressing your emotions is not a good thing. It does not help.
I mean, you could try to do the Vulcan way, but it just comes out exploding in the end. So you just you don't want to explode.
You end up as a Romulan.
Oh, which are very emotional and illogical.
Are they illogical?
And vengeful, apparently.
Well, some of them are.
I know they're vengeful. Yeah.
Did we lose you, Captain?
No, I'm sitting there listening to everybody because I'm letting the free flow of conversation happen. Yeah.
As long as you have pants on.
No. So if you think about it, that is a hell of a thing because Archer is feeling it really deeply. And so there's a lot of impact to the characters here. Like for one, you have Reed is sitting there. It's like, I know this was closed. I closed it. I know it's closed. And he's feeling guilty. He's like, I know I didn't do anything wrong. I feel like I'm guilty, but I'm not guilty.
Even the logs say so. I mean, I don't know what went wrong. This is not possible.
Yeah, and the logs say I'm not guilty, so I don't get it. And Hoshi's like, yeah, everything says that he did it right. And Archer, he's like, it's my shuttlecraft. I brought it down. I'm the cause of 3,600 lives being snuffed out. 3,600 lives. And you get Tucker's like, women, I will never have a chance to try to bed. They're all gone.
Oh, I thought that was Reed. Reed would wanted to write letters to all of them.
Yeah, Reed. So it is like
Tucker just wanted to hold hands.
And then you can see that even though he had the Zoom call from hell, you can see that the Admiral was really kind of like, dude, I feel your pain, but you got to bounce back. They don't want you there anymore.
You followed protocols, is
you
what
did
the Admiral
everything
said.
right.
You did it all. You did everything exactly the way you were supposed to. So this is not your fault, right? You followed the rules. You should be okay.
And the Vulcans were like, yay, we get a chance to pull him back again. And Archer's like, I don't know what I did to mess up. I'm just not going to even fight. I'm just going to go back. And he sits there and digs the knife in further by looking at the faces of all the people that died.
Oh, man, that was heartbreaking. And to see him scrolling, and he's scrolling forever. And then he speeds it up and it keeps scrolling. I mean, how long does it take? It takes a long time to scroll through 3,600 people's pictures. I mean, wow, this is really sad.
And it's like, wow. And Saval is like, I hated you guys going out there in the first place. You're coming back. And it's like, you got to meet the Vulcan ship. And Archer, for the first time ever, we see him not wanting to fight.
And the chef comes into his room and says, pity party of one, Archer?
Yeah, really. He's just not doing it.
We are really seeing a really hard blow to Archer. And it actually kind of... Ouch. I can't even come back from that.
Why do you have your ass on the mic?
You had beans last night, huh?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. So and it has effectively made Archer into a maverick captain to basically Porthos.
Porthos.
Yeah,
not Porthos. Porthos is those are porta potties. Porthos.
There's an H in there.
Yeah. It made him into his dog. How's that? So, yeah.
Well, no, his dog should have been on the shuttle screaming, hey!
The dog would have warned him.
That's the one thing they missed. If they brought the dog along, Porthos would have actually gotten their attention and they would say, hey, something's not right. Porthos is upset.
That's why they need to bring their dog with them all the time.
Yeah. They should have brought him on that scene. If only they brought Porthos, we would have saved 3,600 people.
That's why we bring our Tribbles everywhere.
Yeah, I'm saying Grudge would never let that happen. So, if they had Grudge. But I guess,
what I found interesting was they were going through a lot of logs.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of data recorders on think of how much data you can record today in technology. And I mean, you can record a lot of stuff. And we're talking about the starships of the future and their kind of data resolution. And while it may seem primitive to the Kirk era Enterprise, they still got a lot of data to sift through to figure out what's going on. And their data is definitely telling them that they did not open those plasma ducts.
And crew logs aren't as big as captain's logs.
Yeah, well, captain's always got to have the big log, right?
Yeah, because we eat the bigger meals. Okay.
When Hoshi and Travis were talking, Hoshi said, you're going to be the most famous boomer around, And Travis is like, or maybe infamous, from what Commander Tucker said, people back home think that we do nothing but get in trouble. And I'm like, oh, he must have listened to our podcast.
Bum, 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 bum.
Ba-dum, ba-dum. Okay, next section. Act 2, Spooning Surprise. Word spreads fast across the ship as we see our beloved Enterprise crew pack their things and submit their resumes on shiprecruiter.com. T'Pol keeps fighting for Enterprise, but Archer has given up drinking his mushroom coffee and going to bed early so he could forget this world and instead embrace some trippy-ass dreams. After waiting forever for Porthos to come up and snuggle up against his crotch, Archer finally realizes that Porthos turned into long-suffering crewman Daniels, who, has boundaries, dude. Surprised, Archer jumps up and turns the lights back on to find himself in his apartment 10 months earlier. Daniels explains that the explosion was never supposed to happen, and a terrorist from the Temporal Wars is trying to screw with the timelines. Unfortunately, J.J. Abrams already succeeded with that mission. Daniels tells Archer the game plan and sends him back to his original time. Archer is back in action as he follows Daniels' plan to a T.
Was that Earl Grey tea?
Earl Grey tea.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Earl Grey, hot.
This is kind of interesting because you see he's so depressed that he doesn't miss anything because T'Pol comes in and goes, "Hey, I found there was a weird signature on the hull, a weird EM signal on the hull over there." And Archer's like, he turned into Eeyore. Doesn't matter. Life is
I
over.
don't care.
I don't care. We're done.
Yeah,
It's all finished.
It was really harsh. I mean, that's how messed up he was. Like, look, we've got an actual thing you should probably look at. I mean, he's like, yeah, nice try.
I don't
Fine.
care. Just let me throw my ball in the air and just lay here in the bed.
We should have brought him a pot of honey.
Yeah, I don't want anything. And then he turns off the light. Says, "Come here, Porthos. Porthos, come. Where the hell are you? Porthos. Well, Porthos.
Porthos.
Where are you, Porthos? I'm Porthos. Where are you?" Turns the light on, and then you discover, damn, he made good money even before he was on there. Look at that place.
He had a nice view from that place.
It's
Yeah.
like, wow.
Did you notice the light switch was at exactly the same place?
Yeah.
That was kind of like, whoa, his cabin quarters had the light switch in the same exact place right next to his bed switch. Is that a Starfleet thing or is that just kind of a captain thing?
It might be. I would have just used my digital assistant and told it to turn on the lights. But
Exactly. It's like, Alexa, turn on something,
Siri, lights on.
I would have tripped over something and fallen flat on my face.
So, yeah.
Computer.
But he's like, where the hell am I? Okay, this has got to be a dream. Maybe it's not a dream. That I dream being on Enterprise? And he's like, is there a Phlox waiting to come on board the ship?
It's almost like Groundhog Day, except for 10 months instead of 1 day.
I know. I know. And then Daniels come and tries to convince him this is not a dream. This wasn't supposed to happen. And you see the glimmer come back in Archer's eyes. I knew I didn't mess up.
But really, you had to head scratch your moment. It's like, yo, if I just came back from the future and I'm living here now, where is me now? Versus, and he's like, you are here now.
Yeah.
I'm like, but then how did then happen the now? And he's like, dude, the temporal thing, he tries to explain the temporal thing is it never works. It never works. They try to say, yeah, I can't, I'm trying to explain this to you and you're not going to get it.
He's like, dude, I just work here.
Exactly.
He's like, don't worry about it. But wait, if you're telling me this now, wouldn't I know ahead of time before the explosion happened? And since I know now, 10 months from now, I should remember this. And it's like, dude, it'll make your head hurt and the writers aren't that smart. So
Just say temporal Cold War. That's all you need to know.
and just leave it at that, okay? Because we're basically leapfrogging you. So
Well, what I liked about it, T'Pol stepped up, man. She was like, I will try to convince my government,
Oh yeah, she was like, I should convince Mike. You're gonna be. She was rocking shit right there.
She was. She showed how much a part of the crew she became right then and there.
Yeah.
I mean, she said, "Sir, you're feeling sorry for yourself," and I'm like, "Whoa, you're out of line." I'm like, "Whoa, what just happened right there?"
Like, I'm sorry, but just put on your big boy underwear and fight.
Yeah, because he gave up, and T'Pol's like, "Come on, dude, this isn't you. You don't lay down and belly up like this. You got to get up and fight."
Yeah. So that was good.
And she said that she would fight on her behalf, and you should fight on yours. I mean, that's just awesome. T'Pol rocks.
And it's still this a point where it comes back and he's got a new spring to his step. And he's back.
He was like bouncing off the ceiling practically.
He was. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. I want you to do this and I want you to do that because it's going to probably be a cloak vessel. And I'm going to, like, how the hell do you know all of this? Secrets.
Secrets. T'Pol's like, who are you? What have you done with my captain?
Yeah, and he's like, okay, look, they're going to be trying to reach us. Hoshi, knock the comms out. Play over and over one of Patrick's farts that are just, they'll think something is
Or
going
Patrick
on.
slurping.
Yeah, so just do that. So it's Tucker. We need you to create the blue light special things. So
You mean his underwear?
Some fancy disco lights.
yeah. Oh, which Heather missed the point. He had his magic underwear again.
Well, that was the captain's magic underwear.
Yeah, the captain.
And
had
it was
his
really magic
underwear.
because when he transitioned, he was suddenly shirtless.
Yes, exactly.
And wearing long pajama pants.
Why was he calling up people with shirtless like that? Is that standard procedure?
Yeah, and you saw the receptionist gave him the side eye.
She's like, I know who you are.
She's like, why are you
Archer.
calling me again?
Archer said, I thought you were supposed to protect the timeline, not screw with it. And Daniel's like, it's already been screwed with, Captain. Ooh, what did Daniels do to him?
Who knows?
Daniel held his hand. Now Archer's pregnant.
Archer wakes up. He's like, why am I sore?
Oh, nightmare time.
Hey, Archer just got all the cheat codes from Daniel, so he's going to rock the next level of this game.
And there you go.
Yeah. And did you notice when Archer comes back and he tells Trip about Daniels, Trip is like, he's on the Enterprise? And I'm thinking, oh my God, Trip is sitting there thinking, shit, I've been sneaking into his locked room to jerk off in private, and I need to go steal lights from his room to make sure there's no cum stains anywhere.
That's why they didn't turn the lights on, because they kept it so dark when they went in there.
Yep,
Wait,
that's why.
Did you just violated your own law, Heather?
What? Did
You
I
skipped the
did
next
I do next section? Oh,
You did the next. You get so
Is that next
excited
section?
about
I think that's next
snap.
section.
and the hand to
hell no.
rod. You get so excited about hand to rod, you just leaped over it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
much like
should we do
Patrick
next
would
section?
leap on. Yeah, might as well. Go ahead. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
We're already
Act
there.
3. Star Trek Street Cred. Cue the Rocky montage as Rocky.
Huh? What?
Cue the Rocky montage as the
Dun-dun-dun,
yes,
dun-dun-dun.
as the Enterprise crew updates their equipment via Daniel's specs. Then they head back to the planet to find and disable the cloak ship that was responsible for the explosion. Archer, T'Pol, and Trip board the ship, stun grenade their asses, and steal their shit and skedaddle.
Skedaddle? What are you, 90?
Skedaddle. That's a real word.
I know
That's
it's a
an
real word. But
actual
what are
word.
you? What are you, 90 years old?
I could go say pound sand.
Kick rocks.
Well, that's more current than skedaddle. my deceased 102-year-old grandmother would use skedaddle.
I've heard skedaddle before. It fit in my vocabulary.
Well, she didn't say, the cat's pajamas or 23 skidoo. So she's
Besides,
so good.
it's in the dictionary.
No, I'm not saying it's not a word. I'm just saying it's a very old word that boomers use.
Okay, boomer. Oh wait, you're
You know.
There it goes.
Okay. Well,
I'm a
first,
Gen Xer, so
I know, I just realized that.
let's hit on the fact that T'Pol still doesn't believe in time travel.
It's not
Yeah.
possible. The Vulcan Science Directive said clearly you cannot make time travel possible.
she's really got a stick up her ass about this.
It's like, how do you explain it? Good mushrooms?
I don't know, but it's not possible.
Really good mushrooms, I'm saying.
Yep.
So,
And how would I know how to create these beacons, and how would I know where the cloaking device was? How would I know all that after,
Cheat
going
codes.
to sleep?
He's got the cheat codes.
Yeah.
and
Time
then
crystals in the coffee will do that.
and she's like, how do you know that Daniels can even be trusted?
That's a good question, because I don't fucking trust him. I don't know what the hell's going on. Archer's doing all this shit like, well, Daniel said it was okay. Let's do it. Isn't that dangerous?
Yeah,
That's
so
a little dangerous.
They go back. Yeah, so like Heather said, they go into Daniel's quarters and they step over the spooges on the floor.
They didn't turn the lights on for a reason,
and
man.
they put it on and they hit the button and they goes, oh, look, hologram movies. And then it's like, oh, they got Klingon ship specs. No, only what we came for.
Only the stealth cruiser. But I want to look at, nope, you can't look at that either. Oh,
It's like, come on. I would have memorized at least something, at least one important detail. But, they listen and they head for another system. And they said that this is where we're going to be able to find things.
and they turn on the fancy new positron emitters and boom, there they are.
It's like, oh, look, they're there. And they think that we can't see them. Fly casual.
Like casual.
Yeah, that was for a long time. I'd be like, what the hell? Enterprise is over there. What the fuck are they doing here? They're looking right at us. We're cloaked. Is something wrong with the cloak? Ready the weapons.
Yeah, and they turn around and says, you know what?
It's like getting caught with your pants down. They're like, ooh, ah!
Exactly.
Fire them. And once again, we're going to destroy all military protocol, and we're going to have all our senior officers go aboard the ship.
That's true, actually. There's like, we're going to throw down with the big boys.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny because it's like somebody hit a bug spray when they're finally on the ship, and it's like, okay, let's toss the grenade. And they wait, and all of a sudden they start dropping from the ceiling and floors and everything. Like someone launched a bug spray, and you get like moths in the air. Exactly. And they all dum 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 dum.
I'm sorry, he said stun grenade, 3-second delay, and then he tosses it, and then 2 seconds later the time goes off. I'm like, wait a minute, they edited that wrong because that wasn't 3 seconds.
No, but that was
I'm just like, oh my god, that 3-second grenade went off in 2 seconds. I'm like, hold on, it pulled me right out of the show. Like, wait a minute.
That's what pulled you out of the show?
Sorry, it did. I will admit it was on the second viewing that it pulled me out. The first viewing, I'm like, cool, stun grenade.
And then they start rushing through playing Doom, they're going through the corridors, and they make it to the control room, and they go, get the CDs. It's like, you need all the CDs. They're
just stealing their entire porn collection right there.
Like CDs?
Yeah, it was a Beach Boys CD. It was a Joe Cocker CD. It was a...
like, they're worthless CDs. Aren't you like
Suliban.
doing, USBs or I don't know, something else?
No. Disc format. It was what the Sulibans like to use.
They didn't have any
They're old
USB.
school.
They needed to make an interface to work all that stuff too, though. So
They
you're right.
they had no thumb drives, so they picked up all the CDs and they got them, and it's like, okay, let's get out of here now.
Yeah.
I thought the targeting was very, very precise. They're aboard the ship and they need a diversion. So let's just shoot at the ship that our captain is sitting there on. That just like didn't strike me the right way. I mean, that's some precision firing that they have to be doing with these phase cannons that they barely know how to turn on in the first place.
Well, Reed is like, I got it down now. I know how to aim.
Reed has experience now.
Yeah, now
he shoots himself in the eye all the time.
Targeting precisely. Yeah.
Did you guys notice when they were gonna leave and the clamp is on them and they're trying to leave? Did you guys notice that small ass quiet beeping was the alarm for the clamp still being on? I'm like, it would be really loud and it would be really annoying.
The clamp is still on. Hello.
I was just getting ready to say that, Heather. Perfect. I was just getting ready to say that.
Like, clamp's still on, you dummies.
Yes. It wouldn't be some quiet little, the clamp's still on. Beep, beep, beep.
They didn't have voices back then, or else it probably would have totally done that. Clamp's on.
Yeah.
The clamp is on, sir.
Clamp is on.
Full power. Ouch.
Clamps.
Be like, I got clamps.
If you keep doing this, you're going to fuck some shit up. The
just
clamp
take
is on.
some Midol, the clamps will go away.
Don't pry the clamp open.
And then again, the Suliban, they come spilling out again like roaches. You hit a toilet paper tube, bang! Oh, look, there they go. They're running all over the place.
Yeah.
And so, that was a mini adventure. That was like a mini game within the game of going onto the ship.
And all the cheat codes were working because not one of them got hit by a phaser.
No.
Oh my God, you're right. God mode was on.
It was.
No. They did IDGFE. So it was pretty cool. I guess Pat, you have any more to say on this section before we move on?
No.
I guess that's a no. Okay, Heather.
Aye, Captain. Act 4, Time Trap. Archer immediately contacts his boss to share the good news. They have proof that they didn't cause the planet-wide mass murder. Yay, somebody else did. And as they drive away, the Suliban chases after them, surrounding them with fighter ships and demanding Archer surrender. Archer agrees to turn himself in, but before he can transport over, Archer disappears again and is nowhere to be found. Daniels must be to blame, and this time he royally fucked up, transporting them to an era where the time portal is destroyed and they are stuck in a post-apocalyptic future. Definitely not how Archer wanted to spend his day.
Okay, so this is what happens when you use a cheat code and you're stupid, because he did save the game at the right point in time. If he saved the game at the right point in time and still got blasted or stuck in a corner, he could have gone back and reloaded the save game, but he didn't do it, and he's stuck with his stupid cheat code in the future.
He didn't find out what a lot of gamers do. Wow, there's a lot of health potions and re-ups over here. I better save before I continue through the door.
Yeah.
So he goes through the thing, and T'Pol is still like, yeah, you did all of this stuff, but it's still time travel is impossible. And then they have all these little, I guess, mothballs of death that are following the ship, and they get all these things. It's like, give the captain over or we shall kill you.
The only thing I'm thinking of is how many air fresheners are in those little like pods or capsules in each one. I'm imagining the window with a little air freshener like just hanging right there.
That was a lot of Suliban. I mean, that was pretty impressive. I'm like, okay, we could have just sent one or two of these things, but no, they sent like a couple dozen. Like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And the Enterprise obviously is really important because they didn't want to destroy it for some reason. So,
but they wanted to, it was intimidation because Reed's like, I can't shoot all of them,
Just never, whenever you have Suliban on your tail, never get into a turbolift alone.
Yeah, that's for certain, because they're going to get molested.
Yep.
And he's on there and he's like, okay. And then he does the hero stoic thing. I want my crew to survive. You keep going. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. And he gives the last little look over his shoulder. I'll be fine. And then he's like, what game are you playing? What do you mean? Archer's not there anymore. You don't see him on the ship. Lies. Since we lie, we automatically think you're lying. So you're lying. And then where's Archer? In his apartment again, but it's decimated.
No, he wasn't in his apartment.
Well, wherever he was, it was decimated. It was really destroyed.
It was blown to F up. Yeah.
That's what happens when you fart in the middle of time travel.
Seriously.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's why Daniels was wearing. That's why Daniels is wearing that rubber Michelin suit.
So that's why Michael has her Red Angel suit, just in case she farts. The Red Angel suit catches it.
That makes so much sense. You would want to keep that in, because if you spread that throughout the centuries, oh my God.
It's not a good idea to stifle a fart. The reason why is because when you do, the gas that's in your intestines actually gets reabsorbed into the bloodstream, which will eventually make it to the lungs as carbon monoxide.
This is
then
also
you breathe out. This is scientific truth. And then your breath will smell like shit.
This is also why they don't give Porthos cheese.
Yes. So that's exactly why you don't want to stifle them. So you can look it up, boys and girls, if you don't believe it.
Porthos'
what happens?
breath always stinks like butthole anyway, because he licks his butt.
He's a doggy.
And I never see Archer brush his teeth.
That's true. We've never seen him done, or give him Dentix or something like that for their teeth. But anyway, he's over in the building, and this is the first time I saw this. I was like, how the hell are they going to make it back? There's no time portals. There's no nothing. So Archer and Daniels are basically trapped.
That's your cliffhanger.
Yeah. So it's like, how the hell they're going to make it back? There's no way to come back.
So I got 2 points real quick. So first point is Enterprise is the first Star Trek series to end on a cliffhanger at the end of its first season. That's my first point. Second point is, how did Daniels get back to his own time if there was no time portal where Enterprise was in 2151?
The trouble wasn't getting there. The trouble is getting out of there. I mean, you can apparently you can jump anywhere in the time you want, but once you get there, that's all you. So they got there and they're like, oh, wait a minute, something's not right here.
It could have been destroyed on the way there. I mean, the transmission still went through, except now there's nothing to send back. So.
Yeah, you know what I think? I think Daniels has a time portal in his ass, and that's what he used to get back to his home time.
Oh, then we'll have to send Patrick to make the connection.
Yeah.
In order to work.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
And that's what you would sound like?
No, that joke just fell really flat.
So they gave him 5 minutes, right? Okay. And he's saying, okay, now you have 4.5 minutes. But I was actually like, hold on a second. I want to time this.
Rocky had his times.
Only 12 seconds went by when they said like 30 seconds went by. And I'm like, okay, fine. So then what's happening?
Suliban time is different than human time.
The times did not line up. And I'm like, okay, well, at the end of 5 minutes is actually just before the end shot of the episode. So when they had that big zoom back of the desolation, that was 5 minutes. So they hit 5 minutes way before the actual 5 minutes.
Yeah, Suliban time is faster than human time.
I was just curious. I always want to do that because you always say, oh, the timer is going to go off in 3 minutes. And, oh, you only have 6 seconds to turn off the bomb. And it's so exciting to watch. You're like, wait
20
a minute,
minutes later.
How long does it actually take to do this? And,
20 minutes later.
Exactly. It's so I actually pulled out my stopwatch the second time and did it. So yeah, did not line up.
Or you're like Ripley, Mother, I turned the cooling unit back on. Mother!
That's right. You have 5 minutes to get the minimal safe distance.
Yeah, now that should have been the voice for the docking clamp. You know,
You have 5 minutes to reach minimal safe distance.
You are
Motherfuckers, get out of here.
You are pulling really hard on the docking clamp. Could you please stop that?
But I remember, again, the first season when this happened, I remember wondering until the show came back, just how the hell does he get out of this? And actually, I don't remember even now how he gets out of it. I vaguely remember.
I can't remember, but it was like they really painted themselves into a corner, and the whole next episode's got to be about how they unpaint it.
And because this is a cliffhanger, we're going to do the same to you guys. So Patrick's not going to give you a synopsis of what's going to happen. If you really want to find out what's going to happen, you're going to have to find out yourself and rejoin us again for the next season. Because if he gives a synopsis and you know he gets out of it, or if he doesn't get out of it, so you're going to have to find. Was that a Tribble just call me an asshole?
Are you hearing things, sir?
I could have sworn I just heard a Tribble go an asshole. You got to join us next week to hear the rest. I will tell you this, Patrick, just give us the title of the season 2, episode 1. What's the title of it?
It's going to be called Shockwave Part 2.
So, and now you don't understand. Nobody will know what that actually means. So you're going to have to come next week to see us in order to find out, just will Archer get out of this? Is he going to be trapped in the 31st century? Is he going to meet the crew of the Discovery? Oh, we'd like to know.
I want to see how Temporal kicks some Suliban ass, because she's got like so many. It's like a hard situation. Or are they just going to surrender? I mean, what's going to happen?
Find out next week at the same Star Trek time and the same Star Trek channel.
Which is the same time that whenever you download us and listen to us.
Yeah, or if
roughly.
you're listening to us right now on our Monday, provided everything
spoiler
goes well,
alert.
So.
So now that we've made it through the first season,
Yeah, Heather, what is your rating for this one and overall?
I am so glad we are done with the first season. I'm so happy about that. My rating for this particular episode is probably a 2.5.
What?
I did not like this episode at all. I really did not like this episode. And then for the first season of Enterprise altogether, I would say 3.5.
You're smoking Grudge's butt hairs.
Nope, I didn't like it. And the only reason why I watched is because of you guys, my Star Trek family.
And T'Pol, right? Because T'Pol's cool.
And Phlox.
Well,
And
Phlox. Yeah. Phlox and T'Pol were like the best part about it. Definitely.
And how about you, Pat? What would you give this episode?
I really liked it, so I'm going to give it a 7.
And you, Rocky?
I think I'm up there in a 7 as well. This was kind of cool. It was not what I was expecting. Pacing wise, it's kind of what happens when you do a two-parter. The first half is always setting everything up for the second half, and it feels like. What was that?
That's how fast it went. Boop, 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 boom.
Oh, okay.
I thought you had gas again. Oh my
I thought one of the dots went crazy.
I thought so too.
But yeah, so, they set them up and it's like, okay, you're not getting the payoff. And the great thing about this is we could just watch it right away. Everyone else, when they had to watch it originally, had to wait for season 2. And that sucks so hard.
I would have gave it maybe a 3 because Archer was a whiny little bitch.
Yay.
But how they went and did it, everything else with the cliffhanger, I'll bump it up to maybe a 5 for this one. Overall, the season itself was an interesting foundation season. It didn't suck. It wasn't, in my opinion, the best Star Trek, but everyone knows the first season of any Trek, it's finding its legs.
And they've had some highlights.
See that? Yeah, they did.
They had some highlights.
Yeah, but I mean, the writing this season, the writing for season 1 was, and you guys probably don't see it, but I felt like it was misogynistic. And I didn't like that. You know, I kept wanting to kill Archer, and that's not a good thing. So,
yeah, they took the boldly go and really overdid it for Archer's character. And Scott Bakula doesn't seem to be the kind of guy that would just do that. He seems to be more of a guy that would be thinking about the stuff he'd be doing before he went and did stuff. And
I've heard nothing but good stuff about Scott Bakula, like as a person. Just Archer, the character, is just, oh my God.
It gets better as the time goes on. His character gets better and everything else. What I do like, the bright points for me in the first season have been Dr. Phlox and to Paul on their growth. I think they've had the more character growth than anybody on board that ship. And it was nice being able to see Hoshi get her confidence back.
Oh, yeah.
You mean when she got laid?
So she had confidence.
She was confident when she did that, too.
She goes, you want to see what else I'm talented with my tongue?
Ooh.
So, yeah. So it was definitely shows promise. And like I said, as the season progresses, they land on planets that are more interracially mixed and everything else. And it gets further along. So it does get interesting. So, but other than that, it was a good first start to a Trek. Don't forget that I think Voyager was out the same time. So it was a really...
They were still doing Voyager while this was out?
I think so. I'm not sure. Somebody correct me.
No, I think Voyager was done by then.
I think Voyager was done.
Voyager was done?
Yeah. And then...
Because Voyager and DS9 ended.
And what was out? Was this Enterprise?
And then Enterprise came out after that.
Enterprise started in 2001, and
we were
Voyager.
probably watching like Stargate or something, right?
Yeah, it's possible. Because I did watch a lot of Stargate. Stargate was really... I watched all of Stargate.
Yeah, Voyager ended in 2001, so there was a little overlap.
Yeah, there was...
Oh, there was? Okay.
There was a small one. Okay. Well, we've reached the sad end to our show today. Thank you for sitting with us and joining us on board the ship. We've got everything aired out, so you don't have to worry about Patrick farts anymore. We have the dots cleaning up the spooge marks on the deck, so that's good.
Where'd that happen?
Patrick, when he saw Archer's magic underwear. And also, word of advice again, if you meet an exciting, beautiful young lady somewhere, let's say out in the park or around, and you happen to find them on social media, do not send dick pics. They really aren't accepted unless
what if it's Dick York or Dick Cheney?
No. Then there's
no.
No.
Not even that.
What about Van Dyke? Yeah, Van Dyke is okay, right?
Any dick pics isn't good.
No, they have to, if the person doesn't ask you, don't send it.
There is only one acceptable dick pic out there in the world, and I will give that to Rocky so we could post it on social media. Only that is acceptable. So you could check out our social media to see what we're talking about. But
I have to Photoshop the Tribbles just to cover it. I mean, I have to make them even bigger. It's like,
Heather wanted to send me her dick pic. I'm like, okay.
Other than that, yeah, no dick pics.
No, Rocky has an issue. Every time he gets excited, if he spins around too quick, he knocks shit off the tables. So we can't have that happen. So we really went on a craze thing. My first officer and I have an away mission we have to get ready for. So we're going to go ahead and end this out. Again, thank you for joining us. Please out there, be careful. Come back to us safe. And remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet.